Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Mark Fisher.
I'm Megan Fuller.
Today we are going to be looking at glide baits. Glide baits are a very unique bait. We're going to talk to you, show you exactly how I fish them, when I fish them, and what I think the benefits and the weaknesses are to throwing glide baits. Big weakness, I'm going to give you a hint right now.
Okay.
You know how much that glide bait was that you had in your hand?
Oh, like $70?
Yeah, when you
Yep.
saw that, you wanted, you were kind of concerned about maybe I need to be buying you more jewelry or something like that. Weren't you? Yeah.
Clearly you have the money, so.
We're gonna take
Spread
a
the
break
wealth.
right now, and we'll be back in just a second. All right, we're back, folks. We're going to be showing you some glide bait video coming up. We're going to show you how to work a glide bait, when to work a glide bait, what the benefits are, and what the weaknesses are. So we talked about one of the weaknesses. They are expensive. Okay.
Is that because they're so big? And
Well, it's because they're very, not only are they big, but they take a lot of craftsmanship to make a bait that will glide, move subtly, and stay suspended in the water. That's what this bait does. It doesn't sink, it doesn't float, it stays suspended in the upper part of the water column. And they do different baits do different things, but the point is, in order to get that perfect buoyancy, perfect balance so that they stay horizontal and don't tip, and it takes a lot of craftsmanship to make those. So they're very expensive. I know I have a buddy who won't fish them on certain lakes because he's worried that a pike is going to eat it, and he's going to lose a $70 bait to a muskie or a pike. So very expensive is a weakness. One of the strengths is that they draw up big fish, which is why we're going to throw them here at Hague Quarry, because we know there's some big bass here and we'd like to catch one, and we'd like to see where they are. So we're going to throw it a little bit. They draw those fish up. Those big fish are very curious. They'll be suspended or along the bottom. They'll see that glide bait slowly meandering, kind of weakly meandering along, and they'll come up, just kind of surface. They won't swim after it. They'll just slowly rise to that glide bait. Okay. You'll be able to see them, and when you do, it's like Jaws, coming up. It's like, oh man, it's a 20-footer. And you remember that movie? Oh, he's a 17-footer.
Yes.
And then Quint goes, 25 least. You don't remember that. Okay.
I know the movie. I wouldn't be able to quote it, but I know the movie.
Yeah.
Not that young.
Eyes roll back in the head. Yeah. You ever seen a shark's eyes,
right.
Steve?
And we're talking about baits.
Okay. So where was it? So glide bait. That fish rises towards that glide bait. Very exciting, very cool, and especially in practice, you're like, oh, this area's got big fish. You don't get bit very often on a glide bait. There are more times than not that fish will come up to the glide bait, look at it, you'll see it, and then they'll just disappear back into the water column. That's the downside to it, is you don't get a lot of bites, but when you do, it's usually a big fish. Strategy point here, guys. You're fishing a tournament, it's relatively clear water, you got a good bag, and you know that a glide bait will work in that body of water. When you got that good bag, this might be the time to put those other baits down, pick up that glide bait, and throw it. Because all you need is that one big kicker bite, and you go from being in 10th place to 1st place. So it's an idea to keep in mind. What to throw it on. These are big, heavy baits. You got to use long rods. I prefer to use like a 7/6 length rod. I do want to keep the tip of my rod kind of soft, however. So this is not going to be a flip and stick kind of rod. This is going to be more of a rod, maybe a rod that I would throw a chatterbait on or something like that. Soft tip. I'm going to use about 20-pound Usually fluoro, but I have heard that some guys like to throw mono. The thing with fluoro is that fluoro sinks, and so depending on the type of glide bait you're using, your line may actually sink faster than your bait, which then causes your bait to foul hook with the line. The line will come in underneath, the bait will glide up and get hooked on the line. So you might want to use mono rather than fluorocarbon line. So that's the setup. Like I said, 7.6 soft tip, fluoro to mono, and about 20-pound test. The other tip that I have in terms of throwing glide baits, guys, is when you're first starting out with glide baits, don't make real long casts. Make casts where you can throw it out, you can watch that bait. Learn how to use that bait, learn how to move that bait, and you're basically moving the bait with your reel, not so much with your rod tip. There'll be a little rod tip action to kind of add a little twitch to it and things like that. But in the beginning, throw your bait out so that you can still see it in the water, start to impart action. Once you kind of understand that when I make that turn or half turn, the bait turns this way, pause it, bait turns the other way. Now you can start making longer casts because you know what's going to happen. You can visualize that in your head. We hope you like this video. We'll be doing some more glide bait videos in the near future. We'll talk about specific baits and things like that. But guys, if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, send your comments. We always appreciate that. Stick around. We'll have some more videos tomorrow.